making a move against Department of Technical Education's failure to terminate Pactor appointments. The Combined Technical Association of Nagaland filed first information report against some department officials at Nagaland Lokayukta. Move comes after the department fails to act upon within June 30 as deadline. Precursor of Nagaland CSR and Investment Conclave takes place at State Banquet Hall, Kohima on Monday. Earlier, the first ever conclave scheduled from July 4 to 6 got postponed as Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is unable to attend the event. Flood death toll in Assam touches 179, with 5 more people reportedly drowned or washed away in the last 24 hours. Though flood situation eases marginally, about 18.35 lakh people across 1,618 villages still remain affected. In a major setback for Uddhav Thackeray's GAM, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde wins the floor test in the State Assembly on the last day of the 2-day special session of the House. In the 288-member House, 164 MLAs voted for the motion of confidence, while 69 voted against it. After Punjab, another incident of security breach in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security during his Andhra Pradesh visit sparks row. As PM left in a chopper from Vijayawada, black balloons were flown by Congress workers who organized a protest against PM Modi for coming to the state. Karnataka's Sini Shetty crowned as Femina Miss India World 2022 at a ceremony held at Geo World Convention Center, Mumbai. Rajasthan's Rubal Shekhawat emerges as first runner-up, while Uttar Pradesh Shinada Chauhan named as second runner-up. Hello and welcome to Nagaland TV. You are watching the English Primetime. I'm Chipen Kfung. Let's look at the stories in detail. Making a move against Department of Technical Education's failure to terminate Pactor appointments, the Combined Technical Association of Nagaland filed a first information report against some department officials at Nagaland Lokayukta on Monday. Citan in the FIR clearly pointed at Nagaland government's direction to administrative heads of department to terminate all irregular employments, and FIR be filed against officials involved. State government further directed department heads to withhold payment of pension benefits until criminal case is closed. Citan also mentioned that they had issued June 30 as deadline to the department to act upon government's order, but the department had not initiated any action yet. Citan urged Nagaland Lokayukta to punish all department officials involved in the act. It is worth noting that under Department of Technical Education, 8 demonstrators, 3 superintendents and 10 lecturers were appointed through Pactor process. The precursor of Nagaland Corporate Social Responsibility and Investment Conclave was held at State Banquet Hall, Kohima on Monday. IDAN's CEO Alamdimshi Jamir, while addressing keynote, said that the state and the people have not yet realized the importance and need of private sector. Meanwhile, Chief Secretary J. Alam highlighted that the state's economy revolves around agriculture and services, while maintaining that 70% of the state's population is engaged in agriculture. Chief Secretary continued to state that Nagaland has developed a single-window system, while the state has been lagging behind CSR funding development. It can be seen that Dr. Chingmak Chang encouraged the bank's CSR to come and invest in Nagaland. Meanwhile, project head of a German organization, Julia Karst, passed a recommendation for the Nagaland State Women Entrepreneurship in the aim to creating a centralized platform both online and virtual, increasing the number of dedicated support to women entrepreneurs, enhancing and digital literacy, making sure Naga women entrepreneurs are strongly represented and access to finance dedicated for women. It is also to be mentioned that Nagaland is the first in the entire Northeast regions to have launched a single windows system.
It has been going through the throes of financial and resources crunch. That is because the state and the people have not yet realized the potentials or the need for the expansion of the private sector. And the private sector is growing to be the greatest, to be the leading in the development and the growth process of any society. And in this, it is time that the people of Nagaland started looking at the private sector with a closer eyes and understanding the way that they have to act and to behave and be prepared for the private sector to enter into Nagaland.
The economy of Nagaland at present revolves around agriculture and services, in which government services have a significant share. In the state state GDP, as in 21-22, services contributed 61% and agriculture 27%, while the contribution of manufacturing activities, including construction, is only 11%.
But one of the things that I've also seen with the government of Nagaland is the government is open to innovation. And I'm proud to say to them that I think we run a primary health center in the eastern part of Nagaland, and I can proudly say that this is the only primary health center in the entire country where the doctors, nurses, the cook, the lab technician, the ambulance driver, all of them are appointed by the villagers and paid by the government.
And at the same time, Nagaland is uniquely positioned because the female labor force participation rate in the state is very high. It stands at 44.7%, which is more than double that of the average Indian rate for average India. So it's a sign that women in Nagaland are empowered and they are uniquely positioned to become stronger and take up entrepreneurship.
The state government on Sunday informed that its first ever corporate social responsibility, investment and banking conclave, scheduled from July 4 to 6, has been postponed as Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman would not be able to attend the event. It further mentioned that new dates for the conclave will be announced once the Finance Minister's fresh itinerary to visit the state is finalized. Furthermore, the Planning and Land Coordination, Land Revenue Parliamentary Affairs Minister Niba Krunu, through the press release, stated that due to unforeseen circumstances, Sitharaman has deferred her visit, and therefore the state government has taken the decision to postpone the conclave. It may be mentioned that Sitharaman, along with many top bankers and investors from across the country, were expected to be part of the 3-day-long program. Meanwhile, while expressing regret, Krunu hoped that the support given and the commitments made by the companies would continue and there would be redoubled participation in the rescheduled event. The Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee on Sunday accused the state government for lacking a policy to finance a private sector. Notably, the president of NPCC, K. Thierry, through a release alleged that much talked about MSME's 20 lakh crore investment and all the papers that are notified by the central government are not applicable in Nagaland as per banks and financial institutions. The release stated that the rules of SBI and other financial institutions are different and they do not respect the notifications of Government of India that were notified and read in the public domain, and that implementation-wise there is no such thing as a credit guarantee scheme loan and no such thing as unsecured loans, and also mentioned that there's no such loan that can revive sick industries and definitely no such thing as a startup entrepreneur's loan in Nagaland. It further alleged that the selection of beneficiaries of PMRY loans were made politically and also claimed that the beneficiaries think it is a political gift. Theory alleged that the selection of beneficiaries is not based on skill, commitment, feasibility report, etc., but it is done on carbon copy projects reports, as they do not repay while the banks blame the public and refuse to give loans. Furthermore, the NPCC chief also alleged that the state government has delayed implementation of Surface Act for several years due to ignorance of the Nagaland Revenue and Regulation Act, and also added that Nagaland government had till date not declared cadastral areas, expecting a small part of Dimapur city. He further went on to point out that the state budget is for salary allowances and that the strength of government employees has ballooned from 76,000 to 1,45,000, and that backdoor appointments has deprived all reservation policies. Meanwhile, he also alleged that after paying for huge debt servicing, the remaining development funds are shared by ruling politicians and insurgent groups. Most of the months, there is a shortage for payment of salaries. One person died in a road mishap between Gidima and Kejakeno on Saturday night when the vehicle he was traveling in fell into a cork near Dichi River. The incident took place at around 11:30 p.m. at Dichi River. The deceased has been identified to be a 41-year-old male from Mopongchuket village working at Health and Family Welfare Department. Pek police team reached the spot as they received information about the accident. After completing all the formalities, the body has been handed over to the family. The first ever baking competition was organized by Ruby's Creative Kitchen in in celebration of completing 1 year on Sunday in Dimapur. Notably, there were more than 50 contestants that took part in the competition, whereby 3 winners were declared, while 5 others received consolation prizes. It can be mentioned that the winners, along with the rest of the participants that took part in the competition, received certificates along with trophies. It may also be mentioned that the judge of the competition was Chef Joel Pasumatri, and the guest of honor was the head of Department of Commerce at Unity College, Dr. Dabasum Khan.
Mohan yate Nagaland almost 75% unemployment ase. Already inega platform ekta kurigena thaka do. Aro kunba cooking baking class lo ase, cooking class lo ase. To ekta development nisna hoi jay aro source of income na aro apuni contestants khan ke be saishe gole majority of them were homemakers ama khan gorde thaka to khan thakise na participants khan to ta khan be ekta motivation pa ase enika be scope ase employment be grow parbo aro mohan the runners up pra mohan ge stage te khara korina koa nisna tai be eku janigena thakana holi be to korigena tai be olop solop income kori ase to employment nai koa nohoy employment mohan nijor banai di ase holi be kina korigena mohan inega activities khan korigena kina korigena mohan nijor pet palibo lage eto nisna sob manu be eto line de jaigena there will be more employments if we put.
Founder of the Entrepreneurs Associates, Nichido Tulu, stressed that the Trace for Wealth movement is ambitious, but a realistic mission to plant 2 million fruit trees by 2025, 200 million by 2035, and 1 billion by 2050. He said that this will ultimately generate 1 million farm-based jobs and 2 million jobs in logistics and food processing activities by 2050, generating at least 3 million jobs for the Northeast region. Highlighting on the progress of the TFW movement, Dulu informed that till 2022, 12 districts in Nagaland and 2 districts in Manipur have been covered, and a total of 4.6 lakh fruit trees have been planted since its launch, and targets to plant 5 lakh by the end of 2022. Tulu stated that all this while addressing the media at the Entrepreneurs Associate's office in Kohima. Tulu is confident that with the pace farmers are undertaking the plantation, the state will become a fruit hub of India before the targeted years of TFW movement. The movement provides an opportunity for family and youth to earn income in their native villages. Besides the TFW movement, there are other innovative activities Entrepreneurs Associates has been taking various skills to create opportunities to uplift the women street vendors and dropout students to generate income and enhance the local population by various skill trainings.
Trees for Wealth movement is a huge bioeconomy which is now being so much talked in the world. In India, it is said that as of now, the bioeconomy is about $70 economy in a year. And that is how we launched Trees for Wealth movement in the year 2019 with a big slogan of planting 1 billion fruit trees. But we realized that we need to go beyond just promoting micro-enterprises. And so our first experience with farm-based livelihoods started with plum cultivation in the year 2006. We promoted banana orchards in the year 2004. And we started promoting passion fruit in the year 2003, 4, 5, 6. Unfortunately, passion fruit withered off with the winding up of passion fruit industry in Senapati district, Manipur. But for some time, there was a lull with our initiatives. We did not revisit the fruit trees that we planted in terms of planting plums. 2008, we tried with oranges. Only in 2012-13, when we planted about 1 lakh trees with Tata Trusts for Mithun biofencing. And in 2014, we planted about 35,000 native oak trees, which we call Pedu in Angami Chekasam, and also Prosa. All these tree types, we realized, well, the farmers are not planting more than what the project was supporting them. So we thought, no, we must change our strategy. That's where we stumbled upon planting fruit trees. So in 2014-15, we started planting, trying out with avocado. And 2016-17, we brought in mango, lychee, and if you remember, there was a huge climatic change in Nagaland, leading to the mudslides and flash floods, even in the hills. And so there, in a lot of places, paddy fields were taken away by the mudslides. So we came up with a proposal that, okay, you plant 1 fruit trees, we will give you 1.
The Mr. Talented subtitle round of Mr. Timapur 2022 was held at the Four Seasons Hotel in Timapur, where all the 16 contestants showcased their talents. The special guest of the evening was the proprietor of Theo Enterprise, Nisal Theo, and the subtitle round was judged by a 3-member panel of judges. The result of the title will be declared on the finale night scheduled for July 16. It is also worth mentioning that the pageant is being organized by Meraki Entertainment Nagaland. A total of 16 contestants are vying for the prestigious title of Mr. Timapur 2022. Chief Minister of Bihar, Nitish Kumar, on Sunday expressed grief over the demise of 4 laborers in a road accident that took place in Charnabani Highway in Timapur on Saturday. Notably, the Chief Minister, taking down the Twitter, mentioned and hoped that God would give strength to the bereaved families of the victims, while he also at the same time announced an ex gratia of rupees 2 lakh each to the families of the deceased. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister also directed the local commissioner of Bihar in Delhi to make arrangements for transporting the bodies of the laborers to their native villages. The flood death toll in Assam touched 179 on Sunday, with 5 more people reportedly drowned or washed away in the last 24 hours. Notably, the officials of the Assam State Disaster Management Authority informed that the flood situation eased marginally, bringing down the number of affected districts from 27 to 26 in a day. However, about 18.35 lakh people across 1,618 villages still remain affected. It is to be mentioned that the authorities are running 413 relief camps and distribution centers in 20 districts, where 278,060 people, including 65,757 children, have taken shelter. Mortal remains of 5 army personnel of the Territorial Army killed in the Landslide were sent to their respective home stations on Monday by an Indian Air Force aircraft. Notably, out of the 5, 1 included a lieutenant colonel who was given full military honor by the GOC, RED Shield Division, and IG Iger at Imphal International Airport. It is to be mentioned that the search for 7 Territorial Army personnel and 21 civilians missing amidst the catastrophe is underway, with the overall death toll rising to 44 as per latest reports. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security on Monday was compromised during his Andhra Pradesh visit, as he left in a chopper from Vijayawada. Notably, black balloons were flown by Congress workers who organized a protest against PM Modi for coming to Andhra Pradesh. In the visuals, Congress workers can be seen on a rooftop holding black balloons as Prime Minister's chopper took off. It is learned that Andhra Pradesh Congress Coordination Committee member Sungara Padmasri made a stir at Gyanvapi Airport with slogans saying "Modi go back." Holding black balloons and placards, they raised slogans like "Go back Modi" in demand to fulfill promises made at the time of state bifurcation. It is to be mentioned that there was no damage, but this has turned out to be a major lapse in Prime Minister's security. Meanwhile, the police have registered a case and the probe is underway to identify the culprits. India on Sunday gifted 75 ambulances and 17 school buses to Nepal as part of its ongoing efforts to build on the robust and long-standing partnership between the duo. India donated the vehicles with an aim to help Nepal bolster its infrastructure in healthcare and education sector. Notably, India's newly appointed ambassador Navin Srivastava handed over the keys in the presence of Nepal's Education, Science and Technology Minister Devendra Bodil. Meanwhile, the ambulances and buses will be handed over to various governmental departments and NGOs working in healthcare and education sectors in various districts in Nepal. Two suspected criminals were killed in an encounter after they tried to escape from police custody near Sonapur in Assam on July 2. The deceased have been identified as 26-year-old Abul Hussain Barpuya alias Abu and 35-year-old Kamrul Islam alias Lakoi, residents of Uttar Krishnapur and Saidpur of Kachar district, respectively. The incident reportedly took place when the accused were being brought back after being arrested in Jorabat, Meghalaya. After crossing Sonapur, the vehicles were stuck in traffic in Sonapur. Abu and Lakoi managed to escape and the police had to open fire, sustaining bullet injuries to both. They were immediately rushed to the Silchar Medical College and Hospital but were declared brought dead. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde on Monday won the floor test in the State Assembly. In the 288-member House, 164 MLAs voted for the motion of confidence, while 99 voted against it. Shinde crossed the majority mark of 144 votes. The development comes after a high-voltage political crisis in the state where a new government led by rebel Shiv Sena MLA Eknath Shinde came to power, toppling the Mahavikas Aghadi regime. Also, it can be mentioned that Shinde was sworn in as the chief minister on June 30, a day after Uddhav Thackeray quit the post, whereas BJP leader Devendra Fadnavis was sworn in as the deputy chief minister. The Supreme Court on Monday agreed to hear on July 11 a fresh plea by Uddhav Thackeray faction challenging the decision of the newly elected Speaker of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly to recognize the new party whip of Shiv Sena rebels led by Eknath Shinde. Notably, Thackeray's faction opined that the Speaker has no jurisdiction to recognize whips. Furthermore, a vacation bench headed by Justice Indira Banerjee said the fresh plea would be heard by the same bench after the summer break on July 11, along with other pending pleas. The Varanasi court on Monday has adjourned a hearing in the Gyanvapi case till July 12. It is worth noting that advocate Abhinath Yadav, representing the Muslim side, has presented 47 arguments out of 51 in the court. The lawyer has 5 more arguments to present and is expected that the remaining argument will be completed on Tuesday. The lawyers representing the Muslim side took the court through arguments on the history of the area since 1669. Legal issues were raised and cases were moved in the pre- and post-independence years. Muslim side is arguing on all the cases and issues related to Gyanvapi Mosque from 1669. On the other hand, advocate Vishnu Jain is representing the Hindu side in the matter. Advocate Jain told the media that the Muslim side has given its arguments and the date for the next hearing is July 12. While keeping in mind everyone's convenience, he further mentioned that the Muslim side has to keep its arguments on low point in front of the court. Reportedly, a list of around 60 persons, including lawyers and litigants, were permitted to enter the courtroom, while no other persons were allowed to enter, including media, which was also barred from the proceedings. Meanwhile, the police was deployed at the scene.
पक्ष ने प्लेन ट्रेडिंग अपनी कंटिन्यू करी, कंक्लूड कर दी है। लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिए डेट मांगी थी। लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिए जो आर्गुमेंट है उसकी डेट रखी गई है 12 जून। हालांकि जज साहब परसों की दे रहे थे, अंजुमन इंतजामिया पक्ष भी तैयार थे, वादीगण राखी सिंह से अतिरिक्त जो वादी हैं वो तैयार नहीं थे कि हमारा डे वेस्ट हो जाएगा कुछ इस तरह से। तो 12 जुलाई अनडिस्प्यूटेड हो चुकी है दोनों पक्ष से। 12 जुलाई के आर्गुमेंट वो स्टार्ट करेंगे कंक्लूड। लीगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ये होगा कि अब तक इन्होंने प्लेन ट्रीट करी थी जनरल मैनर में, और उसमें हर चीज़ को कहा कि ये बार्ड है, ये ऑब्जेक्शनेबल है, रिएक्शनेबल है। अब उसका साइटेशन लाना, लॉ लाना, प्रेसिडेंट्स लाना, पेयर एक्ट्स लाना, ये सब अब देखा जाएगा।
एक दिन में ये कंप्लीट हो जाएगा 12 तारीख को।
देखिए 12 जुलाई को अगर वो पूरी तैयारी करके आते हैं, अगर कंप्लीट कर देते हैं, कितना होगा क्या होगा ये तैयारी उनकी, मैं कमेंट नहीं कर सकता, पर हाँ जितना होगा अगर वो कंप्लीट कर देते हैं, कंक्लूड कर देते हैं, राखी सिंह उसी दिन अपनी तरफ से स्टार्ट कर देगी।
जी देखिए, हमारा यही कहना है, कोर्ट से आज हमने रिक्वेस्ट की है कि अगली बार से जब इस मामले की सुनवाई हो तो हियरिंग में कंटिन्यूटी रहे, और लगातार 12, 13, 14 जब तक हो रही है हम यहीं रुकेंगे, इस मामले की सुनवाई हम करके जाएं। तो माननीय न्यायालय ने यही हर दोनों साइड से ये एक अपनी इच्छा जताई है कि जो दोनों पार्टीज़ है एक डेट निर्धारित करें और उस डेट पे कंटिन्यूटी इन हियरिंग रहे, और इसीलिए आज सबकी कन्वीनियंस को देखते हुए कोर्ट ने 12 जुलाई की निर्धारित की है।
क्या कुछ दलीलें आज रखी गई?
देखिए, आज मुस्लिम साइड का ये कहना था कि ये जो केस है ये चलने लायक योग्य नहीं है, इसमें कोई तथ्य नहीं है, विजिबल इनविजिबल।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday unveiled a 30-feet bronze statue of legendary freedom fighter Alluri Sitarama Raju on the latter's 125th birth anniversary. Notably, the 15-ton statue was carved out at a cost of rupees 3 crore and installed by the Kshatriya Seva Samiti in the municipal park at SR Nagar in Bhimavaram. As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, the statue installation took place. Notably, Alluri Sitarama Raju is popularly known as Maniam Virdu, or as the hero of the forest. And he was born on July 4, 1897 at Bandrangi village in the then Visakhapatnam district.
आंध्र प्रदेश की ये महान धरती, यहाँ की बलिदानी परंपरा, यहाँ की आदिवासी वीर गाथाएं हम सभी को प्रेरणा से भर देती हैं। जिस धरती की विरासत इतनी महान हो, मैं आज उस धरती को नमन करके अपने आप को भाग्यशाली मानता हूं।
The National Commission for Women on Monday asked police in Uttar Pradesh to take action against Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav for allegedly instigating hatred and ill will against suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma. Notably, NCW has taken a suo motu cognizance of a Twitter post made by former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav on Nupur Sharma and directed Uttar Pradesh Director General of Police to initiate action. It may be mentioned that Yadav, in a Hindu tweet, stated that not only by speech, but also with the heart, Nupur Sharma should apologize. She should also be punished for vitiating a peace and harmony in the country. NCW also stated that the comments made by Akhilesh Yadav involve crime under the charges of criminal intimidation, word gesture intended to insult modesty of a woman, and intentional insult to provoke breach of peace. Hence, NCW directed the Uttar Pradesh DGP DS Chauhan to take immediate action against former UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and appraised the Commission about the action taken within 3 days. A private bus carrying at least 40 passengers, including school children, fell into a 200-meter gorge and killed at least 16, including those school kids, in Himachal Pradesh, Kulu district. The bus was traveling from Shamsher to Sayanj when the driver reportedly lost control and fell 200 meters into the gorge. Sini Shetty from Karnataka was on Sunday announced the winner of Femina Miss India World 2022 at the grand finale of VLCC Femina Miss India. Rajasthan's Rubal Shekhawat emerged as the first runner-up, while Uttar Pradesh Sinada Chauhan was adjudged the second runner-up at a ceremony held at Geo World Convention Center, Mumbai. It is worth noting that actors Neha Topia, Dino Moria and Malaika Arora, designers Rohit Gandhi and Rahul Khanna, choreographer Shamak Davar and former cricketer Mitali Raj were part of the jury. The star-studded evening also witnessed performances by actors Kriti Sanon, Lauren Gottlieb and Ash Chandler, and Manish Paul was the host of the show. The poster of a documentary film depicting Hindu goddess Kali smoking a cigarette has sparked outrage on social media. Many are calling for the arrest of the filmmaker. Netizens have alleged that the movie's poster is an insult to the Hindu goddess and hurts religious sentiments. Twitterati has demanded action against its filmmaker, Lina Manimekalai, with the hashtag arrest Lina Manimekalai. which began trending on the microblogging platform. The controversy erupted after Lina Manimikalai shared the poster of the film on social media. The poster depicts a woman dressed in the costume of Goddess Kali. She is seen smoking a cigarette in the photo. The actor playing the goddess is shown wielding the LGBTQ community's pride flag amid the outrage. The maker of the film, Lina Manimikalai, has urged people to watch the movie first before vilifying it. Meanwhile, tweeting about the film, Lina posted that the film talks about the events when Kali appears in an evening and takes a stroll in the streets of Toronto. She wrote, "Once you watch the movie, you will change the hashtag from arrest Lina Manimikalai to love you Lina Manimikalai." With the Gujarat Assembly elections slated to be held in December, Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal on Sunday urged the Gujarati people to vote for the party. Kejriwal, while addressing a gathering in Ahmedabad, stated those who are not satisfied with BJP should vote for Aam Aadmi Party. He further added that Aam Aadmi Party does not engage in dirty politics or corruption and that they stand for the welfare of the people. Notably, Kejriwal expressed hope and confidence that over Aam Aadmi Party's victory in 2022 Gujarat elections and remarked that people have tried BJP for the last 27 years and that people are now looking towards Aam Aadmi Party with new hope. The fifth lap of the demand-driven skill development training program for the youth of Nagaland in construction sector has been organized from 4th July 2022 at Longkim Town, Tiensang. In the inaugural program, the welcome address was delivered by Government ITI Tiensang Vice Principal Engineer Nitinpa Ajem. Dedicatory prayer for the youth and for the training was done by the pastor of Longkim Town Baptist Church, Dr. Longray, while a short speech about the importance of skill development and opportunities in construction sector was shared by Additional Deputy Commissioner of Longkim, Puleshike Yeptomi. Altogether, 50 unemployed youth will be trained on plumbing and electrician's job roles. The program is organized by the Department of Employment, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Kohima, and District Skill Committee, Tiensang, with Zainoric Initiative Society as the empaneled training partner. The Directorate of Health and Family Welfare Services of Puducherry on Sunday declared a public health emergency in Garaikal region. The decision was taken following an outbreak of acute diarrheal cases over the last few days. A large number of people were affected by the disease and some were reportedly positive for cholera. Notably, upon examination of drinking water samples in the region, the water was found to be harmful consumption. People were further instructed to drink only boiled water. Meanwhile, Puducherry Education Director Rudra Gop stated that all schools and colleges will remain closed for 3 days from Monday due to outbreak of cholera in the Garaikal region. The Additional Directorate General of Police Information Integrated Headquarters of Ministry of Defense Army informed the citizens to be aware of messages being circulated on social media about a bank account. It further notified that the bank account is specially opened to extend assistance to battle casualties and their dependents, and same will be used to buy weapons and equipment for Indian Army. Hence, spread awareness to be aware of such fraudulent messages. The ADG PI Indian Army on Twitter posted that Indian Army operates 2 accounts for the welfare of Veer Naris, battle casualties and their dependents. and these accounts are solely used for the same. It also shared authenticated details which are available at indianarmy.nic.in/home. Three people and a pet dog were injured after being hit by a neighbor with an iron rod in Delhi's Bihar on Sunday. Due to the brutal attack, the dog suffered a blood clot. According to police, a man named Dharamveer Dahiya was strolling on the street along with some stray dogs on Sunday morning when one of the pet dogs of a resident of Block A of Bihar started barking at him. The incident was caught on camera, and based on the attack, a FIR has been lodged against the accused. Meanwhile, the injured are said to be stable. And that brings us to the end of Nagaland TV English Primetime. Thank you for tuning in. This is Chipan Kung signing off.
अरे तूने अभी तक कुछ किया ही नहीं।
अरे ये तो लो क्वालिटी टंकी है।
होशियारी मत दिखाओ, दुकानदार ने 5 साल की गारंटी दी है।
अरे 5 साल छोड़िए, इसका पानी पियेंगे ना तो बहुत जल्दी हम लोग पहुंचेंगे। अंदर का सरफेस प्लेन, स्मूथ और प्योर व्हाइट भी नहीं है। आप एक काम क्यों नहीं करते, निप्को ताज का एक टंकी लगा लीजिए।
लेक्चर बंद करो, लगाओ।
मरने दो बुड्ढे को, मेरा क्या जाता है।